Welcome to Talks with MSD. Today I have my oldest son, Josh Savekovich, here with us. And today's topic is the youth in the trades. Thanks for joining me this morning. Tell everyone about yourself, buddy.
Well, I'm 24 years old. I work in the controls department. A day to day of what I really do is I pull wire, I bend conduit, I terminate devices, and at the end of the job, I go in and program all the devices that I've terminated.
What do you like most about this job?
It's definitely the end programming, but I certainly love building panels as well. It's really a fun part.
I thought you was going to say Don Barry Jr. A lot of people probably don't know this, but our control system and our card access system was installed by you. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that was a new thing. Nobody at MSD had kind of dealt with card readers or anything like that. So I was probably about a year into working at MSD when we decided to upgrade the card access system and do a test run of the KMC controls.
Yes, that was way before technologies existed here.
That is correct. So there was nobody else here that did any kind of access control or anything like that. So we went in and we replaced all of the door strikes, all of the card readers, all of the motion detectors. We replaced the controls on the gate outside. All I did for that was the wiring and the terminating.
This is your baby here then. So
Uh,
if anyone's hot or cold or anything like that, that is you.
Essentially, yes. We're able to remote in from anywhere to kind of look at the two air handlers here and the several zones that are here on site.
Yeah, so if no one can get through the back gate or no one can get through the front door, that's also you, huh?
That is as well, yes.
Everyone just likes to know who to blame is all.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any terrible problems so far in
None
the
at
4 years that have this has been in. There was a little hang up on the door when we first put the access in, and that seems to be fixed too. So turned out
Awesome.
well.
Awesome, buddy, awesome. Josh, how'd you get involved with the trades?
So when I was still in high school, I would have your winter break, your spring break, and summer break, obviously. I had a family member who would he would just need workers, so he would pick me up and he would take me to a job site and he would set me in front of a fire alarm panel, and I would be sitting there clearing alarms and telling him the location of where the alarm came in from. I started out like that, and as I graduated high school, I went into working with him full time, doing fire alarm, access control, cameras, and a little bit of data work too. And I continued on with that while I was in college, and eventually I left college and found a job here at MSD. The interview process for that was kind of funny. I've known Don Barry Jr. probably since I was 7 or 8 years old. I was still so nervous for the interview with him. I was shaking and sweating. Really, no reason for me to be as nervous as I was, considering I was pretty qualified for the job that was created. It was just for a low voltage installer, basically. So we had a very large job coming up, Airstream. He needed a installer, a wire puller, somebody to hang beam clamps and bridle rings and pull wire all across this massive building. And from there, I kind of excelled and told him I wanted to get into the programming side. So as the years have went on, I've made my way into making graphics and starting to make air handler programs by myself.
Yes. And of course, that family member you're talking about is our Uncle Matt Toby, who owns his own business, Mattronics.
Yes.
Yes. Thank goodness for him and giving you that job, giving you that opportunity there when you were 15 years old.
Yeah.
Yep, 15 years old. That's how you start. Start young and find something you like and run with it, correct?
Absolutely. He taught me pretty much everything I know about the low voltage side of stuff. I've certainly learned a lot more since then, but the basics of pulling wire, making sure everything goes as smooth as can be, the basic terminations and stuff like that. Cat 5, he taught me that, and that's proved to be a very important thing to be able to do because a lot of the older guys hate separating those wires out. And I'm confident enough to where I don't use a tester most of the time, and I have yet to have problems, which is great.
Yeah, it is awesome. Just brag on yourself, won't you?
No, that really is it's a big feat when you're very confident in your Cat 5 connections because
Yes.
when I first started, that was one thing that a couple of my coworkers just refused to do. So I became the here's all these connectors, put them
Yes.
on, make them work.
It's just like any job, though. You find something nobody else wants to do, and you take it over, and you're very valuable. They
Absolutely.
need you for this job over and over and over. It's one of those. I know who we can get to do that.
Absolutely. That turned out to be my calling card for the first couple months that I worked at MSD.
Yep, and also because of your first job and everything like that, you were able to get a fire license. You showed up here with a fire license.
Yes, surprisingly, that's something that everybody in the controls group has already is a fire license, but nobody had done recent work on them. So anything that had to do with shutdowns or anything on air handlers was kind of my gig too, because I was the most recently experienced and up to date on the most recent technologies involved with fire alarm.
Of course, you went to college for a few years. What made you stop going to college and actually go into the trades full time?
I had made it a year and a half in. I was getting ready to start my major. Basically, I had to sit down because I was kind of on the teetering edge of, I would have been very low in placement for the engineering program, the electrical engineering program. I had to sit down with my counselor. Essentially, she had told me, like, what are you looking to do? And my explanation of what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to implement something and test it out myself. And she had essentially told me that there wasn't a lot of opportunities for that, and only the upper ranked people would be able to do something like that, and I wasn't really in that position. So I decided to leave college. In leaving, I did learn a lot that helped me out a lot with doing controls work. Actually, I learned binary and I learned hex in college, and I learned a lot of teamwork activities in order to kind of help me out in moving forward through a normal career.
I thought you were just trying to save me some money.
No, that's not quite it.
Josh, the reason why you're here is to discuss the younger generations in the trades. What do you think would help draw more younger kids or the younger generation to the trades?
When I was younger, school and adults would tell me that, in order to do anything, you had to go to college so you could make good money and, live out your dream. But most people don't realize that if, like, you like working with your hands, you like taking things apart and putting them back together, college isn't always the best route. Growing up, I loved taking things apart and putting them back together. I can remember.
Sound like somebody I know.
I can remember, as a little boy, my first thing that I remember taking apart was I had this SpongeBob alarm clock, and it was just a normal clock. I opened it up, took all the gears out of it, kind of was playing with the gears, seeing how they worked. I wasn't successfully able to put that one back together, but getting a little older, I was able to do so. Working on four-wheelers, dirt bikes, cars, and trucks. Doing stuff like that kind of makes you realize that, hey, I like working with my hands. This is something I really like doing. Just being able to fix stuff is something that if you can recognize, maybe college isn't the place for you to go. It may actually be a trade. Seeing younger guys in the trade now, I'm finally starting to see people that are younger than me entering into the trade. They have pretty much the exact same story. Like, hey, I like working with my hands. I see things that I'm able to take apart and put back together. Sitting at a desk just isn't for me. I like being up. I like moving. I like doing different stuff every day. That pretty much makes you a prime candidate to work in the trades.
Yes, absolutely. That taking things apart and putting them back together, being successful at doing it, and just saying, I did that, I assembled that, I put that back together, or I fixed that.
Yeah, I bug my wife all the time, actually, about things like jobs that I do and complete. One of the biggest jobs that I did, I was still in high school working with my old company, and we did the Nuvasive plant in West Carrollton. And every single time I drive by that, it's been 8 years now, I drive by it and I say, I did that.
Absolutely. I know that feeling.
The reason why that building is not on fire is because of me.
I know that feeling of walking into a place and looking up and saying, see all that conduit? I ran that conduit. Or I installed that HVAC unit.
Sometimes it's fun to even judge other people's work. Like you go into like a Chipotle or something like that and you're like, man, that doesn't look very good.
Absolutely.
I wonder how they got away with that. That's probably why they painted the ceiling black.
We do that all the time. My wife, your mom, she's always like, what are you looking at? What's up there?
Oftentimes you say that too, and they could just care less.
Yeah, they could care less.
It's the third time you said that today, in the third building you've said that in.
What's good, though, about the service department is we do XOI, or videos of everything we do. So I can actually show off, like have my wife watch the video of what I did today. So not only can I just say, hey, I did that, I can say, here, watch what I did today.
You can prove it to her.
Oh, yeah. What's been the most valuable skill or lesson you've learned on the job that you didn't expect to learn?
In my job, it's having the most up-to-date prints. I can't tell you how many times there's been a revision or something like that, and I've been doing work one way when in reality I should have pulled 2 more wires, or I should have relocated a thermostat or something like that. A lot of the times, just having an updated print of the building, the most recent amendment of the prints is a lifesaver when it comes to doing construction work.
Mm-hmm. How is technology impacting the trades?
A lot of it now is just going digital with prints, which makes it easier to have an updated print. You can log into like an app like Bluebeam and have the most up-to-date print. Technology is helping you to, rather than use like a physical tape measure or a compass or anything like that when you're measuring things out, they do all that work for you. They can tell you this device needs to be this far off a wall. They can tell you essentially a lot of different information that you would otherwise have to do in a more classic way.
So you enjoy the technology. I'm more standoffish. I mean, I definitely appreciate it, and I love what technology has done for me, making the job easier and everything like that. But as far as operating it and stuff, oh, man.
I don't think I've had a physical set of prints in a year. Another thing with technology changing is the programming side of things, too. There's always new things coming out. Recently, I went to a training class for the Jace 9000. And that seems to be a very large step up in technology compared to the current Jace 8000.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that is even a huge step up just in processing power and the ability to please the customer.
Yes. Client satisfaction really is the number one thing. Again, in the service department, our videos that we do, our clients love them and they request them. So if we have a job and for some reason we didn't do a video for whatever it might be, the clients are kind of unhappy. They actually want that video. They're requesting videos. Where's my video? Where's my video? I want to see what you guys did, or I want to see what happened. I wanted to see what you guys did to fix it. They actually enjoy watching the videos. I think it keeps them in touch with their equipment, basically. Mm-hmm. They know, they can actually see the age of the equipment, the condition of the equipment. They can also track themselves what's been going on with it. Is it continuously the same kind of thing? Is it something different each time? Is it time for a new piece of equipment? Which is what it's coming down to anymore. You can only service things so many times. After that, it is time to update, especially with new refrigerants and everything now. Mm-hmm. A lot of these old units, it's not feasible. Well, it's feasible, but not profitable or cost effective to service it. It's actually better to go ahead and replace it just because of the extreme price increase of refrigerant.
Gotcha. The owners and the maintenance techs, when we do like a building automation system, with technology changing and stuff like that, they are increasingly happy when it comes to just the graphics side of things. Mm-hmm. The less downtime that they have in like loading a screen or seeing a set point or different monitoring points on
Yes.
like an air handler, it really helps them out a lot too, just to be able to check on their equipment and kind of keep up with maintenance on that equipment. Like you have filter alarms and you have all different types of monitoring points where they're able to do proactive work instead of reactive work.
Yes. Yes. And I do like that technology also because the person in charge, the person who's calling in the service calls, say he has a building with multiple offices or whatever, he can actually look, before he places a service call and actually see what temperature it actually is in that room, what temperature the air temperature is coming out of the supply duct, return temperature. He can see, how many compressors are running, or if the economizer's open, which is the outside air damper. You can see basically the entire operation of the unit looking at his screen or from all the graphics before placing a service call.
A perfect example of that would be the controls group just integrated all of Cedarville University together. So they have like 29 or 30 buildings all on one computer, like one supervisor. They're able to look at any building, any room in any building, all of the hot water plants, all of the chilled water plants, all of their cooling towers, pretty much anything that has to do with an HVAC system, all on one screen.
Wow, that technology is amazing. What are some of the most common challenges or misconceptions younger people face when considering a career in the trades?
A lot of people think that it's just not fun or it's for dumb people. And
This job's a lot of fun.
yeah, so I mean, I go to work every day, and I actually do have a good time. I've always been told that you really have to enjoy what you do to.
Where'd you hear that at?
From you, actually. I've always been told that you really have to like what you do in order to enjoy, because I would say that you spend, what, a third of your life at work?
Absolutely.
Or more. So you really have to enjoy what you do and to enjoy the rest of your life as well, because you can't let something like that affect the rest of your day. So you want to have just a positive come off from
you
work.
can't dread going to work because you will absolutely bring that home.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think that trades are for people who aren't as smart, but I mean, when you get to like foreman and even higher up in the chain of command, they're running entire jobs by themselves, and they're organizing, they're coordinating with the other trades, they're doing all different types of things all throughout the day to make sure that their job gets done, and they're working with all the other trades as well to make sure that they're minimalizing interaction with each other or crossover. They're staying out of each other's way, so the most work can get done throughout the day.
You run a few jobs, correct?
Yes, I am technically a foreman.
Just without the foreman pay.
Most of the time, I'm a 1 to 2 man crew. So most of the time, it's just myself or one other person with me. And a lot of the times, I coordinate with the electricians, with the sheet metal guys and the plumbers to make sure that I'm staying out of their way, to make sure that they're able to do their work, and making sure that nothing that I'm doing or not doing is going to hold them back for what they need to do. Construction work is more of a slow and steady, kind of wins the race kind of thing. You show up in the morning, you have your tasks for the day, you get your tasks done, you go home and you're ready for the next day. You kind of set yourself up for success at the end of every day for the next day.
Yeah, that's true, and I'm glad you enjoy that, and everyone enjoys something different. But you don't get that every day. Well, maybe you do, but you don't get that everyday feeling that you fixed something, like that, accomplished that. No one comes up to you and says, "Thank you so much. My air conditioner wasn't working and now it's working. Oh my gosh, you're the greatest."
That may be true, but you do get to see a project all the way through, where you start by looking at just a foundation. I come in when there's 4 walls at least. Most of the time there's no drywall or anything like that, and we go through and we put stats in the studs, and then right before all the drywall goes up, we put our sleeves through the walls and stuff like that, and then we go through, we pull our wire, and then we leave for quite a while
Yes.
and we wait on the other trades to kind of catch up a little bit. When we come back, we kind of go in, we pull our wire, we terminate all of our devices. A lot of the times, they will be ready for heat or cooling before I'm all the way up and going. So what we do is we kind of just make sure that everything's ready for them to be able to run their heating or their cooling without my control. And then after that, when I start taking over things kind of slowly, it becomes a lot more sentient, I guess.
The only, I guess, rebuttal to that is it takes a lot of time for you to get that. Look what I did. Look at the building I built.
Yes.
It could take a year for you to be able to look at someone and say, "Hey, look at the building I built."
Or in the case of CTC, 4 years.
Yeah, but I can do that sometimes 3-4 times a day. Here's the air conditioner that I fixed, or here's the heater I fixed, or here you name it, I fixed this. So I don't have to wait, or the service department doesn't have to wait an extended amount of time. Don't have to wait a year. We can do that multiple times a day.
The only, I'd say, advantage of doing the construction install side of it is you get to say, I was there before there was anything here, and I did the entire job. I got to see it come all together.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see all the work done in the building. I can say that was done very well because I was there the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
What did you think when I decided to leave college and join the trades?
Cut.
It was a tough decision on my end too to leave school because I was in it for a couple years, but kind of choosing to go away from a white collar hoping lifestyle to go to something that was seemingly difficult. And
I can definitely understand why someone would leave college and come to the trades. At work, there's excitement. Every day is exciting. Okay? Going to school, you don't get that excitement. It's more repetitive. Going there, going to the same class, everything like that. So no excitement. So when you left college, I understood why. You got to do what you like. You got to do what makes you happy. If you're not happy doing whatever it is, it's going to be, it's going to suck, man. And if you dread getting up and say, oh, I got to go to school today, that sucks. Versus, I want to go to work. Have fun when I'm at work. I like doing what I'm doing. I like that accomplishment. So that's how I felt. I could understand why you left college and wanted to go to work. Plus, going to work brings you a paycheck.
Yeah, that part is nice.
Yes.
It is kind of odd how everything turned out, though, because what I always wanted to do was kind of program something and then implement my design on my own and test it out kind of on my own. And what I do now, other than the install part, is I'm taking the these VAV boxes and I'm programming them and I'm making them work the way I want to make them work, and I'm getting live feedback, and I'm using that live feedback to tweak my programs and make things more efficient and better.
Well, I'm sure everyone can hear just the excitement in your voice when you're talking about what you do. And see, that's what it's all about. You got to love doing what you're doing. Everyone can tell just by, how you're talking, how you're speaking, how excited you are when you're at work versus if you just had to go, I don't know, college, I guess, or whatever, being at this, a different place every day or same place every day doing whatever it is that doesn't excite you.
Or to a job you just don't like. You don't get excited about something that you're not really passionate about doing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You got to do what you really, really like. It just makes your entire life that much better. And the people around you that you surround yourself with, it's infectious. Josh, what was the best piece of advice that I've given you?
The best piece of advice you've ever given me is just do what you love to do, and you won't actually work a day in your life. Seeing you growing up, coming home and, kind of just telling me what you did throughout the day and stuff like that. There was no hatred in the way you talked about what you did. You'd always come home, most of the time, in a good mood, unless it was a very, very long day for you. But you always had positive things to say about your trade and what you did. You always had people that you looked up to highly, and you always had friends surrounding you that would talk about how you enjoyed what you did and how you were always there to help them out.
Yes, I like helping people. That's why I answer my phone all the time when anybody calls. If they have any questions or anything like that, I'm so willing to help. So I guess that's why I like being the service manager, because I definitely love helping everybody. Now I actually get a lot more client involvement being the service manager versus it was, just usually you do talk to your clients, but not on the same level as a manager would. So I do like the more involvement with the clients.
Yeah, so seeing that is just that was the best piece of advice you could have given me. Just do what you love, and you won't work a day in your life.
Well, I can tell you are doing what you love.
I certainly enjoy it.
You got a good manager also.
That is very true.
That helps out a lot.
Yes, having a good manager absolutely helps that process. On a day-to-day, he absolutely he'll call, he'll check in. He even plays Call of Duty with me on the weekends. It's a good time.
All right, let's wrap this up here.
Are we wrapping up with lunch? Or are we going to lunch?
I'll take you lunch. I want to thank you for coming in and doing this podcast with me today.
Absolutely, I enjoyed it, and I got to learn something new about you, actually.
I had a lot of fun, too.